travelers, welcome back. I'm excited about today's show because, first of all, we have talked my wife, Barbara, into being our guest host today.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you, Barbara. We have asked her to do double duty. She is still our editor-in-chief. But we haven't posted in a while because we haven't been able to get with Bev and Mike for quite a while now. And we really wanted to get this show out there. Our most successful show to date was Savannah 1,
yes,
right? In terms of the views and the likes and everything. Well, today we're going to record Savannah 2. 3 other good breweries, one that's one of our favorites, and one that we just went to for the first time. So neat experiences, Barb.
Absolutely.
So let's start off with one of our faves. Coastal Empire. Coastal Empire has been around since 2007, I believe. The Habrick brothers, they moved down from Atlanta, set up shop in Savannah, and they brew good beer. Let's talk first about the location.
It's in a very urban area of town, very industrial.
It is, and I would say they have an office warehouse type setup, but the warehouse portion of this is very large. They have it walled off. One section, half, is the brewery, and the other half is the cooler space and tap room, right?
Right.
So there's tons of room here. I guess there's maybe 10, 12 high top tables and
a whole separate seating area in the back room that's couches and lounge chairs and
I'm glad you brought that up.
Groupings where you can sit and just talk and drink, have a beer.
I'm glad you brought that up because at warehouse, it's not air conditioned inside, but it is air conditioned in that separate seating room that you brought up, which is on the side, that is on the office side. They have one of larger foyer area set up with a couch and chairs and an air conditioning, and on the other side they have the merchandise, which they have some really neat candles modeled after their beers. In any event, there's a lot of room here. They have 10, 12 high top tables, and so there's a lot of space. They have foosball table, they have cornhole game setup, and they have a lot of board games. And that may sound somewhat hokey, but every time we go in, we see people playing.
Oh yeah, and outside they have several nice picnic tables on a deck, and they were hosting a cornhole tournament the night before we were there the last time.
They did.
I imagine that took up a lot of the parking lot to have a tournament.
Which, by the way, go ahead and mention parking because it's easy here.
Very easy parking.
There's a big lot. The other thing that is a little bit different is, let's talk about dogs. You know, dogs are outside, but here they can come inside.
Right. There's no food whatsoever, so the dogs can come wherever you want to sit.
One of the neat things about Coastal, and one of the things that they've done to tie themselves into the community, is in addition to having games and boards and tables to play, they also do community-oriented activities. They had, one time we went there, we were having a pet adoption.
They sure were. And they were also doing a fundraiser for the Rescue Society, where they were selling pet paraphernalia, little dog bowls and little sweaters and all different kinds of things for your dog.
Let's talk about the beer, which is what drew us there to begin with. They're namesake beers. They're year-round beers. Are named after local things. Tybee Island Blonde, which is the coastal island off the coast of Savannah. They have Savannah Brown. They have Inshore Slam. Their IPA. They have
Praline Amber.
Praline Amber.
Very good beer.
It's a dessert beer, and they've got a couple of those. But they also have, they're turning that menu over quite a bit. The last time we were there, they had 15 beers on tap. One of their dessert beers was in the threes. A 3.8.
It's a Gosa, yes.
Yeah, Coco Pina Gosa. And I got to tell you, it is a salty pina colada. In any event, they have that one in the threes. They have a couple beers in the fours. They have 5 beers in the fives. They also have sour. They also have dark. They have 3 dark beers, which is not a huge amount, but compared to the other places in Savannah, it's the most. Very, very diverse menu, lots of space. People are so friendly. It is not uncommon at all to see different groups merge into a group to compete with a game or a cornhole especially. So this is one of our faves. We stop in pretty much every time we go to Atlanta.
Savannah.
I'm sorry, Savannah. Anyway, that's a good brewery. Now,
Absolutely.
let's move on to another warehouse area. Southbound. Southbound Brewing is probably the best brewer in town for packaging their beers. They're as well or better represented than all the other breweries in Savannah in terms of the grocery stock, the grocery shelves, the beer aisle. They have the Mountain Jam, they have their IPA, which is very, very good. They have a lager. They have a lot of beers that are packaged and out there all the time.
They also are very popular in restaurants with kegs.
Gosh.
Their beer is very widely distributed to restaurants for eating or drinking while you're having dinner.
That's a good point. Now, a little bit different than Coastal, where they have a large warehouse that's split in two, brewery and tap room. Southbound, it's merged. They have a tap room on this side. They on the front side, and the back is all the brewery stuff. So you're actually, while you're there drinking beer, you're watching beer get made.
Right, and they also have in the same building an axe throwing facility, and you can buy tickets on Groupon and get really good deals on the axe throwing for during the week or on Sunday.
That's right, and we looked in. We saw 3 couples throwing axes at a target. Not at each other, and they all had a beer, so it is something that you can combine activities.
Oh, it's a few steps from where you order your beer.
This is a fun place. We've been on one very, very busy day where it was so crowded it was difficult to find a table to get a spot at. We've been on another Sunday afternoon. It was fairly uncrowded.
Most of the people were throwing axes.
Yes.
The outside is very, very nice. Lots of picnic tables and sailcloth for shade. Dogs are welcome both inside and outside because, again, there is no food available there. So dogs can come wherever you'd like to sit. It's not air conditioned.
No, it's not. Parking here, again,
Easy.
is a breeze.
Very easy.
Let's move on to number 3. The first time we ever went here. And
Sure was.
parking is not as easy. But it wasn't bad, but just not as easy. And this brewery has been on the map for the last few years, and it's special in a couple ways we'll get to. The name of the brewery is Service Brewing.
Yes, and it's more in the town area of Savannah. There's a lot of residential around Service. There's a post office directly across the street, which we were there on a Sunday, and you were allowed to park in the post office parking lot, which made it pretty easy. I don't think you could do that during the week unless it was after 5.
Now, talk about getting lucky. We got lucky the day we went. Again, first time here. They were having an urban food market right out their door and down the street. There were booths of the people, locals that had made honey, and they had a lot of their honey product on sale. They also had trinkets and shirts and other stuff that were bee related. There was a meat packer. There was all kind of.
There was some people that had grown vegetables.
Yep.
And also selling plants.
Yep, there was a butcher. He had a truck with a cold storage in the back, and
Right.
he'd cut you a piece of meat. Because of that, this place was crowded, and it was so active and so fun. Now, before I get to the beer, I'm going to take just a moment to talk about the service aspect here. This brewery, the mission, the great way to say it. The mission here, the brewery was started by a West Point grad. He was a commander when he terminated from the service. He got a gift of a home brewing kit and started brewing, started learning, came to Savannah and started service. It is 100% owned by veterans. A portion of all revenues go to support other veterans. Once a quarter, they introduce a new beer in the tap room, and that beer, a higher percentage of its sales is dedicated to that particular service, that particular charity, once a quarter. So 4 times a year, you go in, you find out what you're supporting. You get that beer, you find out exactly where the money's going. They don't hold any back. This is, I just think this is wonderful.
Absolutely, absolutely, and they were very friendly again. And
they were.
Just a lot going on because they had such a big draw with all the urban food market vendors.
They have their beer menu is there's 14 beers, which is nothing to shy away from, but it was segmented. They have their year-round brews. There are 6. And I don't know that I tried all 6, but I have between there and the can. Anyway, hey, it's good beer. They 6 year round, 4 limited release, a little bit more specialized, a little bit more seasonal, and then they have their small batch, which is purely experimental. I don't think we have one of those.
No, not this time.
We were not experimenting. We were driving home. Anyway, we really enjoyed service. If you make it down to Savannah, the other ones that we talked about in Savannah 1 are terrific. They're very different. This one is very much warehouse, out front, around other people, breweries. There's no food at any of the 3, but there is a lot of activity, and if you're looking for that kind of vibe, to go find some people to play games with or to go play amongst your friends that you're bringing, one of these 3 is going to be your spot.
Absolutely. You can't go wrong with any of them.
Well, thank you for watching. We have several more breweries that we've been to. We got the pictures for. We just need to record some shows. We hope that we're going to get with Bev and Mike in another week or so.
Hopefully, yes.
But we'll get this one out to you as soon as we can. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.